Jesus Freak here. Now, in response to another video, the question has come up about the moral issue of vaccines, seeing that some vaccines have their root in a line of stem cells which were derived from a terminated pregnancy in the 1960s. And understandably, there's issues with that. And there's been different schools of thought about it. First, it seems that there's only two companies that I'm aware of that seem to use these cell lines. I'm not sure if that's true of others. GlaxoSmithKline apparently uses it for a hepatitis A vaccine and a bunch of Merck vaccines, specifically. I think there was a chickenpox vaccine and their version of MMR, which derive ultimately from this cell line. Of course, MMR has always gotten the short end of the stick, and not only for that. From what I understand, not every MMR derives from this, but Merck's do. So, it's a legitimate issue. As far as, if that's a concern of yours, I do need to see if, there's other rubella vaccines that are not derived from the cell line. Otherwise, I think there's not really any necessary vax that do. The thing about MMR, measles part especially, which at the time they came up with these vaccines, it was like, these were serious diseases. They were big problems. And, they were looking for. I think they wound up using a desperate solution. Because measles, at least, is a disease that can literally fry your brain. It causes a type of encephalitis, which basically causes the brain to burn up. Literally overheats and dies. And measles was such a significant problem that there was an expression, don't count your children till the measles passed. Some people, for example, in the Church of Rome, they're, and, most, they were really the first church that pushed against abortion, even though they are, the Church of Rome. And their attitude was that although we should try to encourage the development of an alternate set of vaccines, and especially of rubella vaccines, that don't have to rely on that cell line, and I don't know, again, if there is such yet. That the risks associated with not taking it outweighed the issue. Again, that was just some people's opinion. You may have another opinion. And sometimes you have to weigh the situation in favor of, saving life, even if life has to be taken to do so. That's a very difficult moral quandary to resolve. As far as Hep A goes, my understanding is that in general, a vax really isn't necessary to avoid it. And as far as there was an issue with a chickenpox vaccine, and my attitude is you get chickenpox young, you don't need to worry about it. A vaccine would only really be a better idea if you get into your teenage years without having caught chickenpox. And again, with the MMR, it's a matter of, do you really got to weigh it out. Is it worth the chance of getting a really serious but easily preventable disease? And I think trying to lobby to make sure that vaccines derived from that cell line are ultimately taken off the market is a good approach to take. I'm not going to necessarily say it's wrong to take it, because I believe that the overall benefit in terms of lives saved outweighs the fact that a life was lost in the production. But again, this is a dilemma that you really have to decide for yourselves. As far as I know, none of the other major vaccines rely on this cell line. And as far as the COVID vaccines, certain of them, they aren't even based in, I don't think they even use cells to produce the mRNA ones. You could probably prove me wrong. There's one that I believe uses the modified monkey virus, and they might be using embryonic monkeys. I don't know how they're growing that vaccine. I don't really know much about that. But I think they're using monkey adenovirus to produce the Oxford / AstraZeneca vaccine, which, as far as I know, isn't out in the public yet. So, yeah, there might be a valid dilemma about the rubella component of certain MMR vax and about some of the less important vaccines. Overall, I don't think it's worth throwing out the baby with the bathwater. That's just my personal opinion. Jesus freak out.